Da 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 da. Oh, hi. I watched the original Addams Family TV show as a kid, although, to be honest, I don't remember a lot of the very specific details. I do, of course, remember the theme song. The theme song has never left my brain.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky.
There's been a variety of other popular Addams Family media over the years, and now Netflix has brought us Wednesday, titled after Wednesday Addams, who is the main character. Before we go further, abandon hope, all ye who enter here unspoiled, for there will be spoilers. Now, a little context for the show first. This series follows a teenage Wednesday as she transfers to a boarding school called Nevermore. This school is specifically for outcasts like her, so that includes seers and sirens and werewolves and vampires and witches and other types of creatures. These beings are a known factor in society in the world of this show, so this isn't like a secret Hogwarts or something. The school is outside the town of Jericho, so you get normie human characters as well. Wednesday basically becomes a teen girl detective over the course of the series, and with the help of her newly developing psychic powers, her roommate Enid, and Thing, she works to unravel a number of mysteries. I will tell you right up front, I really liked this show. I had a great time watching it. I thought the writing was fun, the general aesthetic was visually pleasing, the different interweaving plot lines were interesting, and I never thought I would care so much about Thing in my life. But I do now. I was expecting Tim Burton to do to Addams Family what he did to Dark Shadows. Terrible things. Unspeakable things. But no, it was good. However, I did become aware fairly early on that our dear Wednesday Addams is, in fact, a Mary Sue. I am going to follow this with another bold assertion. Wednesday being a Mary Sue is perfectly fine. It's totally okay. Now, I have made an accusation of Mary Sueism, so it is time to review the evidence. 1. Wednesday's appearance and personality. For all the talk of Wednesday being weird and an outcast among outcasts, she is still traditionally beautiful. She has great bone structure and clear skin and full lips and shiny hair and like a teeny tiny waist. She has well-tailored and well-fitted clothes that look good as individual outfits, and they also look flattering on her. We even get a scene where she shows up to the big dance and she's wearing all black while everyone else is wearing all white, and the other characters even take time to stop and notice and comment. Wednesday does give off some Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway vibes, and if you don't know who that is, you've been spared. Forget I said anything. There are also a number of things that Wednesday mentions enjoying, such as sticking needles in her eyes or touching a live wire.
I'd rather stick needles in my eyes. I'd probably do that anyway.
We never actually see her do these things, or more importantly, we never see her actually do anything that would mar her appearance or be truly disturbing for the viewer. We do get close, like when she's about to torture Tyler, but we never do get to actually see her bash his fingers in with a hammer or whatever she was gonna do. They talk about her waterboarding her brother, but we don't get to see that. It's just something that's referenced fondly. She talks about performing full-on autopsies, but we only really get to see her just kind of like poke at some corpses. The most violent thing she does is release the piranhas into the swimming pool at school. But this is done in revenge for them bullying her brother, And it's also the inciting incident that was necessary for the plot to get her expelled and transferred to Nevermore. Everything weird she does is just portrayed as charmingly quirky.
You're not scary, you're just kind of kooky.
I prefer spooky.
Oh.
Oh, she's comfortable sleeping on a slab in the morgue? She's so random. 2, she gets her own school uniform, and yes, this is its own bullet point. While everyone else's uniform is blue and black stripes, Wednesday gets a special uniform that is black and gray stripes. I would be willing to bet that there are hundreds of Harry Potter fanfics where the Mary Sue character, instead of having to wear the black wizard robes to Hogwarts, she can wear like some other color of robe, like gold or pink, or maybe she can even wear her muggle clothes to Hogwarts because she is special. Point 3, she is good at everything. I think the scene that made me realize that she's a Mary Sue is right at the beginning of episode 3, when she manages to figure out how to get into the Nightshade secret library, but she's caught and they tie her up. And even though they're all in masks, she's able to identify them immediately.
Who dares breach our inner sanctum?
You can take the mask off, Bianca.
She rejects the popular kids and their offer to have her join their secret society.
I'm not interested in joining.
She taunts them.
You're seriously turning us down?
Can you believe it?
And she manages to untie herself and escape.
Untie her.
I freed myself 5 minutes ago.
We see her toss an apple in the air and manage to shoot it with an arrow and still get a perfect bullseye.
At least I'm not an elitist snob.
She can do crazy martial arts moves. She can speak Italian and fix espresso machines.
I need a tri-wing screwdriver and 4mm Allen wrench.
Wait, you read Italian?
Of course.
She's clearly very smart when it comes to school.
First discovered on the Isle of Wight in 1854.
Very good, Wednesday. Looks like you may have competition for first chair, Bianca.
She's a very unique dancer, but her movements still all seem very coordinated and very graceful. And we also see the other kids notice and seem impressed. Wednesday is one step ahead of everybody else, even her parents.
Neither one of you are strong enough to serve hard time. And thanks to me, you won't have to.
We see that Morticia is basically just kind of haunted by the idea that she killed this normie guy back when she was in school, and now Gomez will be taking the fall. But just through the information that Morticia tells Wednesday when recounting the story,
You said Garrett was foaming at the mouth. His eyes didn't look human.
I've never seen someone so blinded by rage.
Wednesday is able to identify that the guy was actually suffering from nightshade poisoning.
Foaming saliva, dilated pupils, mental confusion. What are those all textbook symptoms of?
How can that be?
Something that neither Morticia nor Gomez, who were there when this happened, were able to notice. And to be fair, previous iterations of the character do show that she's good at things like fencing and archery, but this really just takes it like to another level. 4. Everyone loves her. Immediately upon entering her new school, she catches the eye of Xavier, who is, well, I don't know if they ever say he's the most popular boy in school, but he is the ex-boyfriend of the most popular girl. So he is undeniably very popular, while still also being the sensitive, tortured artist type. Then when she goes into town, she immediately catches the eye of Tyler, the sheriff's son who works at the coffee shop. He will do literally anything that Wednesday asks, no matter how badly she treats him. He turns out to be a villain, but still. I mean, of course there's a love triangle. I won't give this a separate bullet point, but aside from the love interests, other people also seem to like Wednesday immediately, for no reason.
The girls want to know if you want to hang out later. Oh, come on, it won't kill you.
I'll think about it.
There's her roommate Enid, there are other students, there's Eugene, even Principal Weems, who did not like Morticia, seems to be relatively fond of Wednesday. And she's awful to everyone, so they really have no reason to like her. We, the audience, do get to see that she's not entirely heartless, like when she's upset over a thing, or when she's going to see Eugene in the hospital. But the other characters don't get to see all of those moments. They only get to experience like her off-putting and cruel side. We do get to see this become a plot point later on when she tricks Enid into thinking they're going on a girls' night, and she tricks Tyler into thinking that they're going on a date, but she actually takes them to go explore the abandoned Gates house. And both of them get justifiably pretty mad at her, but they also seem to get over it pretty quickly.
Made you a quad on the house.
I'm gone for a few days, the place gets trashed, and Thing almost dies. Someone's gotta look out for you too.
And for point 5, she is the chosen one.
You are the key.
There's a pared down version of a prophecy. It's basically just a drawing that depicts Wednesday fighting an evil pilgrim who's Joseph Crackstone. And another student initially believes that Wednesday is going to destroy the school because that is what his mom, a powerful seer, told him. So he tries to kill Wednesday to keep that from happening.
Me down.
No, my mother said it was my destiny to stop this girl if she ever came to Nevermore because she will destroy the school and everyone in it.
However, later, both Wednesday and the audience realize that she is meant to save the school. We learn that her ancestor cursed Joseph Crackstone and that the bad guys need Wednesday's blood in order to release him from his tomb. So it basically all comes down to Wednesday, and sure enough, in the end, she is able to defeat Joseph Crackstone and save the day. Now, you may counter these arguments with a couple of points. First being that there are people who don't like Wednesday in the context of the show. There's Bianca, the most popular girl in school. There are the normie boys from town, and the main villains aren't really her biggest fans. However, I would say that in a true Mary Sue story, there must always be bitter haters who try to take the main character down so that way she can best them and show just how badass and awesome she is. Like, if there was nobody challenging her to fight, how would we get to see that she is an accomplished fighter? Also, Bianca comes around in the end. She and Wednesday even team up. And it kind of happens for no reason. They just have like one talk at the dance, and like, that's it, they're cool. Your second counter argument might be to say that Wednesday does not always win. She lost that first fencing match against Bianca, and she like definitely got stabbed in the gut by the pilgrim guy. However, these are just obstacles for Wednesday to overcome, and again, prove how awesome and badass she actually is. Because then she defeats Bianca in that boat race thing, and she definitely stabs the pilgrim guy and kills him for good. After taking like an arrow to the shoulder and just walking it off.
Come on, guys, let's go.
But overall, does it matter if Wednesday Addams is a Mary Sue? I would say no. Everything about this story is set up as existing in a weird and unique fantasy world with its own set of rules. And within those rules, someone like Wednesday can exist. Extremely beautiful, overly competent, good at everything, beloved by all, and yet still somehow considered an outcast weirdo. Would it be a better story if they actually showed her torturing her family members or cutting into dead animals? Not really. It would be an entirely different show if they created a truly unlikable protagonist and then had to devote time to get the audience to root for them. Which would be interesting, but it would certainly be more exhausting to watch. And sometimes you just want to be entertained. I think that a lot of times a character is really only identified as being a Mary Sue when you don't like some other aspect of the work. If you enjoyed the writing and the pacing and the camera work and the dialogue and the humor, then you don't usually notice the Mary Sue tendencies of the main character. Sometimes people will not enjoy something, but not fully understand why. So they point at the lead as saying she was a Mary Sue and that's why this thing was bad. But really, there were a lot of components that didn't fit together properly that led to whatever it was being unenjoyable in some way. I think when you really look at it, there are a lot of characters that can fit the Mary Sue qualifications. If you can think of one or two mainstream examples, share it in the comments. Not every character has to be a perfectly structured, well-rounded example of a human being put to paper. I think that the Mary Sue archetype is okay as long as the work as a whole is well-structured and enjoyable. And I found this series to be really enjoyable. I would say that Wednesday is an example of a Mary Sue done right.